Today on What Went Wrong, we're going to talk about the that can happen on your set. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I've shot over 40 feature films. And one of those films was a film called Tag. And out of all of those 40 feature films, possibly the most, the word, I don't want to say, I don't know how to phrase it, not the worst, but if go wrong,
this
it
was
went
the
wrong
movie
on that film.
where it could possibly go wrong systemically throughout the entire, but in a fun way, and nobody got killed.
Nobody got killed.
as far
almost.
as you know.
Well, one of our actors fell out, got well, not on set, but like over the weekend,
that's
he
right.
got stoned, went up to the Colorado mountains and fell off
in rock climbing and actually passed away. That's I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, but we digress.
The
Not on set.
Originally in I guess it was 19. We had originally tried shooting something in '96, a Detective Serenade, where it was a '40s film. We were shooting 16 millimeter, and that just all the camera ate the film.
We shot that. Actually, we shot part of it in Colorado on 16 millimeter, and then it just
Yeah, and it was just sort of abandoned at that point. That's like one of the very few films I've ever shot that just never finished, and then we never shot the whole thing. We were supposed to shoot the whole film in one weekend.
Didn't happen.
And Tom came up and
had a good time.
Yeah. So a year later, we moved into Tag, which was a sort of my John Woo phase.
That's right. I forgot about that.
The gun fu kind of stuff. But it was always, about honor. It was always about the cop against the killer and how they became friends. Now on that set, we shot that in about 2 weeks. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks.
It's pretty quick.
And I do remember you were one of the first to arrive, and you and Ty were there.
Yes.
And my vacation hadn't stopped yet. So there was one day, I had 1 day left of my vacation that I had to work, but I wanted to shoot stuff that day. So I was like, well, Trey, will you just shoot this?
You actually had, and I think we have some pretty good outtakes. And I believe you were there too, Jeff. Weren't you there for that?
I used one of those before. We never needed to. What set are we on? I don't even know. Just say the goddamn lines. Let's go to bed.
Yeah, I had to reshoot that.
Yeah, of course you did.
Because you didn't get anything. It was Nork. It was Nork.
Nork.
Nork. Take three. We're getting Nork done. Nork.
So yeah, you were there for that. So what we'll probably do, which should make this really funny, is if you have
I have the footage. I'll be able to cross cut.
We'll cross cut to. I think I look at the camera and I literally say, Brett,
this is your fault. You left me in charge. I've never done this before, and look what you gave me to work with. I blame you for this.
Yeah, it was a storm. So I thought I was a director, and I thought I could make some movie magic, and I epically failed. So I gained a newfound respect for putting up with us on a set, and actually being able to capture the images and pull it off. So yeah, cut to that. That's going to be hilarious.
It was an action film, and this was before digital effects. We were still shooting a little high 8 camera.
High 8 camera.
So we had no digital effects.
I was my own stuntman.
You were. And I had all the visual effects, or the visual effects, the special effects, people getting shot. I wanted to see the blood splatter and all that stuff. So I remember us in the Grandview Grill.
It was a bar or whatever.
It was a bar where Tom and Ty had that showdown.
Yep.
And then Tom was going to get shot in the shoulder. And I had just watched the director commentary for El Mariachi. And he's talking about getting a little 12-volt battery and running it up and doing all the professional stuff with the fire, with the squib and
the squib and
condom full of blood.
You took the weight belt because it was thick leather, and you put it over the actor, and then you ran the 12-volt battery to the M60 or to the M80. You took the condom, filled it with the fake blood, put the M80 up there with electronic match, and then detonated it. And then you would score the shirt, and as the squib went off, the pieces of condom would be like flesh flying, and then you have the blood flying, and so I think I think we overdid it.
Worked on it with that. Something always went wrong, and I remember with Tom, we finally said, it, and we just had you run in and
light it
and run off camera.
So if you've got that, it's smoking. We're rolling, and then the thing. It erupts, and it looks like we blew Tom in half.
It looks like his heart explodes. It's just splam. It's up on the ceiling. It's on the walls. And I remember we went to the bar owner. We're like, we're so sorry.
Really
we didn't mean
sorry.
To get it all over there. We'll clean it. He said, no. It's a great story. It's gonna
leave it.
Leave it. It'll be fine. It'll be great. We're like, it's less work for us. So all right.
Thank you, sir. Later.
And then, of course, that was the infamous electrocution story.
Oh my gosh!
I've covered this in another episode of What Went Wrong, so I won't. I'll maybe just flash back to that real quick. But we electrocuted some real drug dealers because if you're a producer on a film and someone says and your actors don't show up and the director says, "Hey, I need some drug dealers. Can you go get me some drug dealers?" I'm talking about actors who can play drug dealers. Ty went down to downtown Denver
and got real drug dealers
who were dealing drugs in the corner.
Well, that's your fault for not being specific and not having an attorney on set, I
should have
suppose.
known.
And they were actually pretty nice guys. I mean, they for what we needed at the time for the scene, they actually pulled it off.
They were great.
This is where we first tried the electronic match. So we had,
because Jeff hadn't arrived at that point. I know that he hadn't arrived yet.
He probably would have. Yeah, he was the next. Okay, so he probably would have probably helped with the process.
He would have told us.
The guy might not have survived. But I digress. So we actually had an electrician. One of the drug dealers was also an electrician, apparently, or one of the guys was an electrician on set. So
it was one of his buddies.
One of his buddies. So this was before everything started to go south, and we actually we had the battery, and so you had the weight belt, and you had the M80 with the condom of the blood underneath the shirt, going down the back of a shirt, and I'm below camera, and so we have the battery, and I'm trying to set it off, and it's just action, and and it's not working, and so we're scrambling. We're like, well, we can't get the shot. And
because it was 2 or 3 in the morning.
2 or 3 in the morning.
Like, I don't want to go down to Walmart or H-E-B or King Soopers and get a new battery because you said, this battery was dropped a couple times.
Yeah.
I think the battery's. And we're both sitting there. You, me, and Ty are sitting there going,
what are we gonna do?
And that's when we hear from the back of the room,
plug it into the wall.
Plug them into the wall. We're like, no, can we?
We can't.
Can
we? Could we do it?
I think we can. Can we?
And oddly enough, I don't know how I remember this, but I remember the guy saying something to the effect of, "I'm an electrician," or He had
I'm an electrician. It'll be fun.
He had far more expertise in electricity than I did, clearly at the time. So we take the wire and we splice it, and I peel off the
speaker wire.
This was, kids.
High-grade speaker wire.
Do not ever do this at home. So this is for entertainment purposes only. There should be a legal disclaimer at the bottom of this before we put this on. Anyway, so we're stripping the speaker wire off. I split the wire, and so we roll action. I plugged this guy into the wall.
Because it was an orange extension cord that ran all the way.
Oh, I forgot about the orange. So we got we got an orange extension cord running through the basement, and then I plugged that into it. We had one already plugged in, and I'm holding the other off camera, waiting for Brett to say.
And now he's got the direction. Now you've got the direction. Okay, Trey, you just stick it in. It goes off and pull it out. As soon as it goes up, pull it out. But of all the times you decide to become a acting coach, he starts going off. Because I didn't just want, because I was like, this is our last chance. I'm not just going with an M60. I'm putting a whole thing of black cats on here too. One of these sons of bitches is going off. So he's exploding. He's starting to vibrate. Lights are fading in and out.
Lights were dimming.
And you poke your head up a little bit, look back, and go, dude, that's not how you get shot. Because he's like, and you start critiquing his method.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
And you start giving him acting advice while you're still playing. And you go, and I remember seeing Smoke coming out of his ears.
So what I'm hearing is we kind of electrocuted this guy. And all for the price of a cheese pizza. And so I think is what the takeaway is here is if you find good drug dealers and you pay them with pot and cheese pizza, you can plug them into a wall and electrocute them.
And he came back the next night to finish the shot.
They did come back because it was late and they, I guess, had drug dealing things to do. It was their, prime time. And so they left and we shot it again the next night. And it's in the film. That would be a good outtake.
There were so many things we did on that set that we should never have attempted. Mostly strapping explosives to people's chests.
Jumping out of moving cars.
You jumped out of some moving cars. We threw people out of moving cars. But I think the most damage was with cars that were just sitting still. And I remember there was this fight scene with a ninja, wasn't it? Was it a ninja? You got your tooth busted.
I had a tooth chipped.
And you threw him into a car.
And broke the windshield?
Broke the windshield.
And
he got up and he was like, no, he did it.
It's his fault. It's his fault.
It's his fault.
Well, someone was really overacting and it wasn't me. So I was when you do your own stunts and you don't hire a professional like Colt Sievers, then shit happens. I mean, if you look at some of the wide shots of me jumping around, was it your truck, your light blue truck, or whose truck?
Yeah, that would have been the light blue truck was mine.
And I'm bouncing around the bed and jumping over the cab and jumping out of this thing. And there was a scene where I'm in the middle of two bad guys, and I jump, and I'm just thinking I'm jumping into grass. It was full of boulders, and it hurt like a mother.
Remember?
And I'm sure if you're filming, you hear me go jump, and you hear me go, ow. Yeah, that was very unforgiving. I thought it was soft grass, and it was full of large boulders. It hurt quite a bit.
How we didn't kill anybody on any of our movies, I'll never know.
Well, what a good time we had.
It was great. It was a great time. So yeah, how would you recommend to people that we were sort of the pioneers in that aspect of being independent film and just not knowing what the we were doing.
Clearly.
And just saying, well, this is the shot that we want to get. Let's get it.
Yeah.
How the hell did we get away with not killing anybody?
I think that was just pure luck. I mean, a lot of that was, it's amazing when you're 20 years old, what you do and what you can get away with and how the body will heal. You get a little older and that doesn't necessarily happen. How we got away with it, I don't know. I think if you're determined, you're focused, you want to get the shots, and then we all had buy-in. We wanted to make this film. We wanted to make it great. And we saw Hollywood films and how they pulled this stuff off, and we wanted to do the same thing. And we thought, what's the worst that could happen?
You can get electrocuted, knocked out, car fall off a cliff.
No broken bones, no permanent scars, a broken tooth, nothing that I'm aware of that is affecting me today. So, hey, we did it. We pulled it off. Now, what would I tell filmmakers today is don't do that. Don't plug someone into a wall ever. That could be inherently bad. It could go a completely different way. So we could do this now. I guess it's funny as hell. And when you watch the outtake, you're gonna laugh. But when you're on set and you're doing this stuff, safety first, because someone could really get hurt. So just by the grace of God and blind luck, we just managed to not run each other over. And there was a lot of things. And I'm sure there's some filmmakers out now that are still doing some of this stuff. So just, safety first, or third, or 10th.
Keep it in mind.
Just have a safety briefing. Really, and remember, the safety briefings exist because someone did some stupid that got someone hurt or killed. So that's why all safety briefings exist. So just be careful, have fun. Push the edge of the envelope. But
because you do have to get to have some funny stories. Because I remember we went after I think it was after the Grandview Grill. We went to Denny's. And we're all covered in blood. We didn't change. Even I'm behind the camera was covered in blood and everything. And I remember there was like five goths that pulled up in a hearse.
In a hearse, yeah.
Came in and were looking at us like we were the freaks.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we definitely. I felt a little. We were so tired, and we felt a little conspicuous, but we were hungry. It had been a long day, and Tom was just sitting there with just a gaping hole in his shirt and blood going everywhere. They were looking at us like, what the hell just happened, guys? Did you just commit a felony or something? And yeah, it was.
So yes, if you're gonna make your action film, try to be safe.
Have fun, be safe, have some good stories to tell at the bar later. So,
But we have no responsibility for what happens on your set.
Absolutely not. So I take no responsibility with that. Safety should be paramount. So, but have fun at the same time.